Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode number 9, Beachy Keen.
Cute.
All right. I don't love
I
it.
think it's cute. I say peachy keen all the time.
Okay.
From Greece. Peachy
Yeah.
keen jelly bean.
Yeah, it was kind of a Mets and Mets title, the Mets and Mets episode, you know?
We start out with Kyle FaceTiming with her daughter, Portia, and she asked her how it was sleeping at her father's house. So now we know she got her Porsche last week, so she's got her car. She's sleeping over her father's house. Kyle's like walking around the house, and she's used to having a big family and everyone around, and most of the time she's walking around and she's the only one there. And I'm sure that's weird. I'm sure that's really weird.
Big adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how she says she knows her girls want to spend time alone so they can talk about what's going on, and then she invites herself to lunch with them.
Yeah, that was a little cringy. I was like, girl.
I understand. I get it. But it was just so funny where she was like, I know they want to talk to each other about what's going on.
Yeah, but she really wants to see them. And I almost thought when she did that, like, because the way Portia was reacting, I almost thought like maybe they were having lunch with her father.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, something.
I still think that may be the case because like she wasn't really inviting her.
No,
she wasn't. She was avoiding telling her where they were going.
Yeah. I feel bad for her, to be honest with you. And then we see her, she FaceTimes Erika, and Erika says that there's too many people involved in this whole thing with you and Dorit. I like how she called them all the board of directors. Like, I love that. I thought that was hysterical. And she thinks, Kyle and Dorit just need to have their own separate conversation, which I completely agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be just between the two of them. Plus, no one else wants to hear it anymore. It's been so many episodes that you're like, all right.
Yeah, we don't want to hear it anymore. Imagine them.
Yeah,
They're hearing it more than we are.
They don't want to hear it anymore.
Right, exactly. And then Dorit meets up with Bose, and Bose asks Dorit if we should talk about what's going on, how she's feeling. And she's saying that in her confessional, Dorit's saying that Bose is like her new person, like this is her ride or die. And she feels like that she can really confide in her. And we've seen that she's been doing that since the exact moment that she met her at the party. She just blurted out her whole business, right?
Yeah.
But she does start saying that, 18 months ago, because Bose is asking, like, why did Kyle not know? Because Kyle's saying that she didn't know that you guys were having a hard time. And Dorit says, well, I told Kyle 18 months ago that we were having a tough time, but I didn't even know that it was going to lead to a separation. So I think really that's kind of what Kyle was saying. Not that she didn't know that they were having a hard time, but like there was that conversation we saw on air where she said that they're having a hard time, but then she didn't hear anything because they were in a bad place. And then all of a sudden they're separated. And that's when Dorit says, well, listen, like, PK was at the house with his sponsor and like they blurted it out and the sponsor was doing all the talking.
Which is weird.
That's weird.
It is. And listen, I'm not a Kyle defender, but I agree with her. Like if that conversation on air was the only conversation she had with Dorit about the issues in Dorit's marriage.
Right.
How was she supposed to know they were going to get separated if Dorit didn't even know they were going to get separated? Like if Dorit wasn't like calling her, I mean, listen, we all have friends. We all have friends who have marital issues. We all have marital issues. Like there's no secret. You talk about it. If it gets to that point where it's like it's that bad, you're going to tell somebody. And if Kyle's your good friend, you would have told her. So I believe Kyle that she didn't really know how serious it was.
I do too, especially after she gave us that information. But Bose saw it differently because in her confessional, she's calling Kyle a liar. She's in denial, about the death of her friendship with Dorit and her knowledge of hers and PK's marriage. How could she get that from that conversation? Because that's not what I got.
Unless she's saying that Kyle's not being honest with her conversations with Dorit, maybe Bose is saying it wasn't just that one scene, that one conversation that they had on air. Maybe Dorit has told Bose that she did confide in Kyle additionally
after that.
Right. And Kyle's not acknowledging that.
That's
why, when she was calling her a liar, that's how I took it. I was like, oh, maybe they did have other conversations.
Well, why wouldn't she have said that? Like, why wouldn't we have seen that on camera? Because that was the whole point she was trying to get at when she's asking her that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I thought that I was very surprised to hear that, one, she was blindsided by it, and two, that the sponsor was there and kind of suggested it.
Yeah, leading the conversation in that track.
Well, that tells me that PK had a conversation with his sponsor and said this is something he'd be interested in.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
I don't think the sponsor would just blurt it out had it not been discussed.
No, that was a previous conversation. But I mean, come on, don't be a man.
Right.
You want to get
exactly
separate from your wife, then strap your balls on and you tell her that you don't do it through your AA sponsor. Stop it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I mean, God bless PK for being in recovery, and he seems to be doing well. And getting a sponsor is obviously a huge part of that, and having accountability. But he doesn't strike me as the type of guy that needs somebody else to say something to his wife for him.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. And
Yeah,
did you see
it's
that in the after show, Dorit said that he no longer has that sponsor because something happened when Dorit was flipping out in the Sprinter van. I forget what argument, because God knows there's fucking tons of arguments. What argument was going on? And Dorit was explaining that during this time, one of the reasons why she got so charged up in the argument is because at this time, they must have been away somewhere on a trip in the Sprinter van. And so something happened with the kids, with Dorit and PK's kids, when Dorit was away. Something happened where the sponsor got involved in something. And she said PK realized that the sponsor had stepped out of bounds. So he got rid of the sponsor. It's someone he's still friends with, PK. But that person is no longer his sponsor. He got a new sponsor.
He has a new one.
After some altercation that happened where, like Dorit said, something happened where he overstepped in his involvement in regards to the children, the sponsor.
I mean, getting new sponsors, it happens. There's a million different reasons you could. So good for him for getting a new one. I'm sorry that happened, but.
But wait, that is the same sponsor that overstepped and suggested that they separate. I mean, that sounds like a big overstepper.
Right.
A big overstepper.
Right. Yeah. So you know what? Now that I hear that, maybe they and PK, I don't know if it's man or woman, they and PK did not have a conversation about separation prior to him dropping it on Dorit when they were at the house.
Maybe it was the sponsor trying to think that they're a therapist.
Right.
And being like, oh, maybe you guys just spend some time apart. And
right.
It was interesting because when Dorit was saying how that she hid a lot of PK's behavior from other people. And that can make you a little bit bitter. And I have to say that I have, not in the same way, but I certainly have been guilty of that sometimes in my own marriage, especially with my kid. Like there's a lot of times where you just don't tell them things.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're get pissed off. So it just doesn't serve anybody well ever.
Right.
That, and I can kind of see that with Dorit, that she probably, and she said she did that. She kind of, she was the one who was always smoothing things over. And so maybe there was things that she didn't necessarily tell Kyle because she was in that, let me keep the feathers unruffled kind of gig.
Right. I mean, that's very possible. It is very possible. The next thing we see is Garcelle is talking to Sutton on the phone, and they're going to dinner with Kyle and Erika and Garcelle and Sutton. Kyle invites them to dinner, and it's the night before they're going to go to Garcelle's beach house. And Garcelle and Sutton are saying that we're having this conversation because Kyle wants us on her side because she's at odds with Dorit.
It was a very strategic move by Kyle.
Yes.
Preemptive strike.
Yes,
Right.
preemptive strike.
So the ladies meet up at Arden. I wrote down that this place was absolutely beautiful. The
Did it not look like
flowers,
Villa Blanca?
it looked way more beautiful than Villa Blanca.
It did look more beautiful, but it reminded me of Villa Blanca.
Those
Very
flowers and the decor, I was like, I want to go there. I have to put that on my list of places I would like to go.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that Garcelle showed up first, so her and Kyle are sitting there together. And, those two have never really, they just never hit it off. I mean, they never did.
Nope. Remember Kyle said she didn't donate to the charity?
Yeah.
I mean, this goes way back to Denise Richards.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They do okay in a group, but one-on-one, there's like this.
Yeah. This underlying thing.
I watch it on Peacock. On Peacock, they put on a commercial in a Jeep for Jeep. It's Dorit is in the Jeep.
Yeah, with the chick from Sold on Salt
Lake City.
We had that commercial too.
I didn't know if you guys had that. I thought it was cute.
Because I didn't know who the other girl was at first, because quite honestly, she looks like Bronwyn from OC. That girl. She's not blonde, but her face, I'm like, is that Bronwyn from OC? And now she just has dark hair. Yeah, old OC, yeah. And then it clicked. She's from Sold on SLC.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
What really would have made the commercial amazing is if Dorit was smoking a cigarette while they were driving.
Been great.
Yeah.
Yep. Come on, Bravo. Get your shit together. Or Jeep, whoever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
By the way, we were talking about commercials. I keep seeing that Lisa Barlow commercial all
so
the time
bad.
now.
I watched it.
Me too, and it's so
bad.
I've seen it on Peacock too, because I started watching Peacock. They keep playing that same commercial on Peacock.
Terrible.
I'm glad we all agree about that.
Terrible.
So then Sutton arrives and Erika arrives to the Arden.
I love Sutton's purse. Did you guys?
I didn't notice it.
Oh, delicious.
Well, what did it look like?
Yeah, what did it look like?
Put a picture of it up. It is awesome.
Okay.
So Kyle, they all get there and
Kyle gives her a big apology.
Well, Sutton says, what are we doing here? Why are we here? Kyle says, I want to apologize. I want to apologize. She is, when she's talked before that happened, she's talking to Garcelle and she's like, listen, my whole life is being scrutinized. My marriage is being scrutinized. My sexuality is being scrutinized. And now my character is being scrutinized. And Garcelle says, well, that really seemed to trigger you. Is it because it's your character that's being scrutinized? And she's like, yeah, I wouldn't that's what bothered her the most, is that it was her character that was being scrutinized.
Here's the thing, though. You want to complain about your sexuality and your marriage being scrutinized? Stop putting shit out into the media. You're the one putting it out into the media. You're the one taking the pictures with this Morgan chick. You're the one putting out statements about your marriage.
Show.
Tell everybody to fuck off and mind their own business and stop putting shit out there. And nobody will scrutinize anything.
Hey, she chose to be on a reality TV show.
Exactly. But even that aside, what you're doing off camera when you're not filming, that's when all the pictures of Morgan and her were coming out. That's when all the stories about her and Mo were coming out. She was putting that stuff out there. Stop talking to the media.
I don't think she was putting that stuff out there.
Well,
she was living her life.
They were putting statements out, and she was posting pictures with Morgan on her own social media. I mean,
I did think it was interesting that she was saying that, I don't need to be questioned by these housewives. That's not something I do. And then all of a sudden they show all the clips.
Yep.
Every time.
Since 2010, she's been doing it.
All the other housewives she's been questioning, and really she did it to Erika. She did it to Sutton. She did it to Denise Richards, and she was going in hard. And I would love to hear her side of that. After she saw that, when you're living it, you don't remember it, but I didn't remember she did all those things. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, yeah, she's doing the exact same thing she's upset with them for doing.
Yeah. So you can love or hate Sutton, but Sutton is 100% correct saying What you need to apologize for is holding everybody else to a higher standard than you hold yourself. You think you don't have to be subject to this, but the rest of us do.
And I'm watching it and I'm thinking to myself, boy, man, Kyle, you piss somebody off in production. Somebody in production is like receipts, time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Sutton was not taking her foot off of Kyle's throat. And I thought Garcelle's face was hysterical because Garcelle's face was like the cat that ate the canary. She was just like,
yep. She was 100% right though, Sutton.
No, she definitely was right. But I will say the way that she went about it was a little bit harsh. It was a little bit harsh.
I think that Kyle can dish it. She just can't take it. And I think that that's, because she could be harsh too.
Well, Sutton is in no way subtle or
she's not. Sutton is not
at all. She does not know how to weave it in an artistic manner so that you're still getting your point. You're still insulting the person, but you're doing it with a smile on your face. She does not have that art. She does not know how to do that. She just comes out with the fucking hatchet.
But Kyle's saying this isn't good for my mental health. Well, it wasn't good for anybody else's mental health when you were doing it to them.
Well, there you go.
I mean, certainly not Erika when she was faced with all these lawsuits.
Yeah.
And Denise Richards when you were accusing her of having an extramarital affair with a woman. Like, whose mental health is going to benefit from all that?
No, I agree. I mean, I definitely think that she needs to be held accountable.
Yeah.
I do have actually my notes on Sutton. So she was in the sparkles and the gold, and the handbag, I did write it looked like a cigar box turned into a handbag. And Erika says, "Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Where did you get it?" And Sutton says, Dolce & Gabbana, they gave it to us when we went to La Scala.
I liked it.
I liked it too. I'm thinking it's a restaurant, isn't it?
Okay.
I don't know.
I think it's a restaurant, but they gave...
It is a restaurant because I make the La Scala salad.
Right?
Is it?
Yes, yes. With the romaine lettuce and the cut up...
yeah.
Yes. The La Scala salad. I think the Kardashians made it famous, but it's
it's
really good.
Like an Italian sub, but in a salad. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so I did note that handbag. Just didn't realize it.
Interesting.
And when Sutton did say, why are we here? Erika's first said, well, this is a meeting of the board of directors.
No more Fox Force 5, so now it's got to be the board of directors.
Exactly. I do think the Fox Force 5 is still going, though.
It's still, it was Kyle, Teddy, Lisa, Erika,
Lisa,
Jane.
Erika.
And who was the fifth?
Who was the fifth?
It was Rinna, Kyle, Erika, Jane, Teddy.
It wasn't Sutton.
It wasn't Sutton. She wasn't on yet.
No.
Well,
who?
Have to ask our listeners to let us know.
Yeah. Somebody please help us out. Who's the fifth in the Fox Force 5?
I can't remember.
We could probably just Google it.
Yeah, we could. We have to Google.
The Google, we have it. Yeah.
We have to Google.
It's okay.
It's like with children. That's what it is.
He wants to talk about his game. I want to talk about his game too, but after I'm done.
There you go. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So when Kyle's trying to apologize, Sutton wants specifically, what is it you're apologizing for? And she's like, well, I meant my sentiment. I'm apologizing for the way I left. Everything I said, I stand by. But, I said, fuck off as I was leaving. I said the way I stormed out of there, I'm apologizing for. And then Sutton's like, okay, but she's still like, and Kyle's like, listen, this is my apology. I'm going to do it the way I want.
Funny. I think that, like you guys said, Sutton, she's like a bulldog, but she should have just said to Kyle, I appreciate your apology. Because personally, I always feel like if someone has the courage to apologize, because apologizing isn't easier, you should always accept it.
Right. Right.
No matter what, you should accept it. But, she could have said, you don't have to forgive. I'm just saying, acknowledge the fact that somebody apologized to you.
Apologized,
right?
I appreciate your apology, but here's where I'm coming from. I feel like you treat us differently than the way you want to be treated. and, and go into it that way.
Right.
What she was doing was not going to be effective because, of course, Kyle's going to be on the defense with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So then that's pretty much over. And then we cut to Garcelle's house.
Why
And
pregame at Kyle's?
I think
Like,
they
I
all
understand a
took
meeting place, but she had a big spread there. They're going to Garcelle's for a party.
Yeah, I thought the same thing to myself. Like,
Well, it
what
was
the
a
rich
2-hour.
people. They
I
just
think
don't know what the
it's-
fuck to do with their
I
money.
think it's a 2-hour drive, though.
Okay, so they needed a little snacky poo. I mean, I would appreciate a snacky poo before a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-hour drive.
Okay,
So
all right.
Sutton was really rude, though.
My God.
Really rude to
Sutton-
Dorit. Like,
So rude.
I know Dorit is long-winded. I get it. But again, like, learn the art of conversation, son. There's ways to say what you need to say. There's ways to make things happen. There's ways to move things along without being a dick.
Yeah. So what happens is all the ladies get there and Dorit gets there and she starts saying that, she's had a day. So Dorit gets there and she says that Jagger asked her if Daddy and her got divorced. And she says, "No, sweetie." He said, "Did you post something on Instagram?" And then she said, "Well, sometimes people who are married need time apart." And then Jagger asked if you and Daddy are always going to be best friends. And those are hard words to hear, right? And she's like, "Well, I sure hope so." And then that's when Sutton interrupts and says, "Speaking of best friends, Garcelle messaged me and she wants us to put, everything aside and get along. We need to get going because it takes quite a while to get to her place." And Dorit said, before I was rudely interrupted, Sutton says, "Come on, let's go."
Yeah.
It's like
she
come
was
on.
not giving her. Now, we may have only seen Dorit talk for 5 minutes. Dorit clearly could have been going on for 60 minutes and we're just not seeing that. So I understand it.
Right. But that's really besides the point because, like I
Yes.
said, learn the art of conversation.
Yes.
There are ways.
Be like, you know what she could have said? Dorit, listen, Sutton, if you're listening, I mean, we really have some good advice for you. She could have said, "Dorit, I understand that you're upset. Maybe why don't we just get in the Sprinter van so we
and
can
then you
get
could
on the
finish telling
road
us about
and
it.
we could continue the conversation in the van."
Right.
Right.
That's all. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's very simple. There's no need for it besides you want to look like a dick on TV? I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I mean, the worst thing ever was when she said, she's had a bad day too, the day after Dorit's house.
My gosh.
I mean,
that was the worst.
I mean, I don't know how you come back from that. She did, but I don't know how you do it.
I know. I mean, Dorit even handled it very well considering. And she just says, like, "You're a strange pumpkin sometimes."
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean,
At least everybody else was on Dorit's side. Like, she's pretty fucked up. I mean, they
Yeah.
went along with it, but they were like, "That's fucked up."
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. It definitely was. Before they get there, we see that Garcelle's got an event planner there and a bartender. And like, I love that these women have these event planners for people coming over to their house,
Yeah.
right?
I love it.
I do too.
And it was absolutely gorgeous.
Her house is gorgeous, but
Her
that
house
beach
is gorgeous.
setup,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the beach setup. Now,
the beach.
I will say this about the beach setup. I have one thing I got to say. Two
All
things.
right.
First thing is, you could have gotten the furniture. I know it's on sand, but it looked all like wonky, not leveled out. Like you could have if you go to this beach and you put your chair in the sand, you got to like shimmy it and you got to it was just all. And then roam the beach a little bit and make sure there's nothing nasty. You should have found the dead bird beforehand.
How funny was the dead bird, though?
The dead bird was great. How
Just
did you find a
because
dead
that's what
bird?
happened on New York.
I know.
Like, here they are in fucking Malibu, and there's a dead bird.
There's a
Uba,
dead
what are you
bird.
going to say about that?
Right.
You going to tell them not to go into the Pacific Ocean? No,
Funny.
you're not.
I thought it was funny.
So funny.
It's hysterical. Before that happens, when they arrive, Garcelle has comfy loungewear for each of the ladies to wear.
I was thinking about this. I want to do a PJ day on the beach.
No. Why?
I thought it looked fantastic. Put
Well,
your PJ
listen,
and go sit on the beach?
Do you know that that's Garcelle's line
Interesting.
of loungewear? Yes.
Well, I'll check that out. I love Garcelle's style.
Well, Dorit in her confessional said, she just spent hours curating her outfit to put on some pajamas. But
it was black pants and a white shirt. What are you talking about?
I'm going to
Dorit, I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like some big involved thing.
I'm going to be a good sport about it, though. She did it. She just said it in her confessional. She didn't say it there. It was just in her confessional. But then Garcelle sees this Dolce & Gabbana box, and she's like, oh, what is this? Jennifer says, it's for you. And she opened it, and it was a Dolce & Gabbana blue and white toile toaster that matched her outfit.
So cute.
I mean, what are the chances that she happened to be wearing that outfit when she's getting that?
I'm sure they had a conversation prior to this scene.
I don't know. She seems surprised by that toaster.
You know how much that toaster was?
How much was it?
$700.
$700.
Oh, yeah, it did say that. It was $700. That's right.
Did anybody catch the Ocean Spray grapefruit juice she had there for Sutton?
I did not.
There was a bottle of Ocean Spray sitting
product placement.
Well, and Sutton goes nowhere without her Ocean Spray grapefruit.
Right.
To mix with her vodka.
Right. But when the toaster's revealed, Erika's standing there clapping, and she's like, I don't know why I'm clapping, but
clapping for the toaster.
Here for it. She's like nothing Jennifer can do now will surprise me. Like, she shows up. Like, I didn't even know Dolce & Gabbana made toasters. Did you?
Well, no, but I was kind of shocked that no one else brought Garcelle a housewarming gift. I mean, how do you go to somebody's house for the first time?
I 100% agree with that.
And don't bring anything. I was like, you bunch of low-class bitches. What are you doing?
Totally agree.
I completely agree about that.
What's up with that?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I completely agree about that.
Now, Sutton said on the after show that she did not feel bad for interrupting Dorit's story that could have just been told at Garcelle's.
She was probably going on for a very long time.
No, but still, she shouldn't have interrupted it.
I know. I feel like, and I'm not here to defend Sutton, but
I mean, she doubled down on it on the after show.
That's what I'm saying. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Admit that it was bad timing.
Yeah, do something.
They take the golf carts to get to the beach. And like we said, when they get there, the beach setup is, again, beautiful. The flowers, the tables,
they had blankets for everyone.
They had blankets and towels, and then they had comfy chairs, and then they had tables and dinnerware chairs, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
They had a bar and a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
very hot bartender. Very hot bartender.
Yeah. Yes. So Kyle goes.
This is what you get in Beverly Hills.
Yes.
Because everybody's trying to get into the business. So you get the best looking people just doing this, all
the menial tasks.
Yeah. All the regular stuff the rest of us assholes are doing for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we need to take a trip.
We need to take a trip.
Yeah. I would like to go to California and go to little Beverly Hills, Malibu. I think we should take a trip.
Yeah.
Go visit some of these places. I mean, we'll do it with our budget.
Yeah.
So, we'll just take our, rental car to the beach and bring our own chairs and towel.
Right.
But still, we'll do it, right?
Yeah.
Let's just do it. I mean, we don't have flowers at the beach, but maybe we can stop at Whole Foods. We can stop at Whole Foods and get some
flowers. Trader Joe's is beautiful flowers.
There you go.
Beautiful flowers.
Stop at Trader Joe's and get some flowers on the way. And put them in a basket. We'll get a basket too. Make our own little picnic on the beach.
We'll go to Goodwill, get the basket.
Oh my God.
Really doing it our way.
I want to go to Goodwill in Beverly Hills because they probably have some good stuff. That's
good stuff.
That's what we got to do. Do
but
they even have a Goodwill?
Then you got to schlep it all the way back or mail it and then forget it. Then you're not even getting a bargain because you got to pay for the shipping.
No, I'll get it home. Don't you worry. I know a thing. It's called Pirate Ship. Yeah. I'll get it home. Yeah. I'll teach you about that. Okay. So then Kyle goes up to Dorit while she's at the bar and says, can we go have a little talk? And I'm glad that, they go and sit down and talk, and Dorit starts. And she said, do you want to start? But Kyle's like, she didn't really answer. So Dorit starts and she said, first and foremost, do you consider us friends? And Kyle says, yes. Do you want to salvage our friendship? And Kyle says, yes, I do. She says, do you? And Dorit says, very much I want to salvage it. When you wrote PK and you said, I never repeat, when you wrote that, you never repeated anything that you said. I know that you were making him feel safe with you, but I know that that's not true. Like, I know that Dorit says, it's okay. I know that he could talk to you and wouldn't repeat it. It's okay. Kyle says, hold on. That's my way of saying I'm trustworthy person and I don't repeat things. Dorit says, are you my friend and your loyalty is with me or with him? Well, Kyle says, well, obviously it's with you. But Dorit was saying that I know what you were saying to him, that you're not going to repeat things to Dorit.
Yeah, that's how Dorit's reading it. Because of what she said, that she knows that PK and Kyle would have conversations about her at Kyle's house. Because PK would come home and tell her, but Kyle doesn't know that, so she's not fessing up to it.
Right. And she said, I know but I'm okay with it. I just want to know, like, are you going to pick a side? Like, and is it going to be me? Because if you're going to pick a side and it's going to be me, then, we can move forward with this. And, they both can, they both want to be in a good place. They both want to forgive. They want to move on. Because honestly, how much longer can we talk about these text messages?
Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
Right.
No longer.
Right.
But did you see now that their Dorit and PK's son is in the hospital?
Again?
No.
And Kyle said that she sent Dorit a text and then she sent a separate text to PK. What are you doing? Send a group text to PK and Dorit, both at the same time, thinking of, Jagger, whatever, blah, 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 blah. What are you doing?
Yeah, because they're clearly together. It's not like either one of them are going to leave I know they have their daughter, but, they're going to, I agree with you. At this point, after all this nonsense about a fucking text message, just send a group text to the both of them and be like, I'm thinking of you. Please let me know if you need anything.
If anybody needs anything. Yeah.
That's it.
But wait a second. How do you know that she sent separate texts?
Because I think Kyle put out a social media post and she said, yep, I did it. I sent him a separate text.
And he's in the hospital now because he was in the hospital before.
I don't know. I just saw a social media post and Kyle
I didn't even know he was in the hospital.
And Kyle said, or I saw something on social media and I saw Kyle saying that yes, she did it. She sent him a separate text.
And why would she call attention to it?
It's weird.
You know what I mean?
It's bizarro. I don't know.
That is weird. I did not PK and Dorit's. I did no, because I remember at Christmas time.
It's probably again.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's.
Yeah, I think it's again.
What happened?
I don't know. I didn't get that far into it. Just something I came across, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So I don't know, but it was fun when they were on the beach and all those stupid balloons wouldn't fly.
My gosh,
that was.
Wait a second.
My gosh.
Everything I'm seeing is that was from November. That was back in November.
Well, maybe she's getting heat for sending two separate texts, and now she's commenting on it.
I don't know.
That was so funny.
Oh my God, those lanterns.
They are not easy to set off on a calm day. It was clearly very windy.
Very windy.
Not an ideal place to do that. We've done it for my nephew Kyle from the beach because he was a big surfer and that's what we do for him. It's not easy. And especially if it's particularly windy that day, which it seemed to be.
Well, when Kyle and Dorit were having that conversation, at the same time, Bose is telling Garcelle what Dorit said about, Jagger. And Garcelle's like, it's hard because she remembers when she was first divorced and she was putting Jax to bed. And he said, when I'm with you, I miss Dad. And when I'm with Dad, I miss you. Mm-hmm. So she could kind of relate to that. And then when they come back to the table, this is what I wrote down. It is so windy on the beach. Like, it's ridiculous how windy it is.
They're all wrapped up in blankets.
They're all covered up in, I thought they were towels, but maybe they were blankets. And then Garcelle says, let's play a few games.
Oh, stupid. So stupid.
Housewives should not play games.
Oh.
Stop.
Haven't we established this already?
Yes, a million times.
And then it was, what would you do for $1 million?
Yeah, how far would you go for $1
$1 million?
What's the
And
worst
they're all
thing
like,
you would
that's
do?
too low.
Right. And then
20 million.
Bo says, what if it was $20 million? Oh, Garcelle says, I've done it for less. Erika says, where do we sign up? Bo says, what if it was your man? Erika says, yeah, no, I want the money. And then Dorit says, well, Erika's never been in love. And Erika said that. But Erika has said that.
I know. It was still just a bold thing to hear, I thought.
Yeah.
And that's sad for her.
It's
That
very
is sad.
sad. That's what I'm
Very
saying.
sad.
It's very sad. And Erika has said that. Like, she's never been in love. And it explains a lot, to be quite honest with you. It explains a lot.
Yeah.
You know? And then, I don't know how this came up. Then they asked Jennifer, and she says that she's in love with her man. And, you know, and she was in love with her husband.
She said very nice things about her ex-husband.
Yes.
Yeah, he was her ex, right? I know he has passed since.
Yeah,
but
he was her ex. Yeah.
Yeah, she said very nice things about him.
Yeah. It was funny, though. Then they're trying to do their wishes in the lantern, and Kyle's trying to get the paper lantern, and she's on the ground. And they're like, oh, no, the wishes are going away. And then they see the dead bird, and then they just all start.
They pee their pants.
Yeah, they just start running off the beach. I mean, it was hysterical. I thought it was hysterical.
It was nice to see them doing something other than arguing.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was nice to see Kyle and Dorit have some resolution and agree to move forward. I am always happy to see that. I don't know if you saw online, but another housewife-related situation is, A$AP Rocky is on trial right now, and Rihanna is there. And the first witness was Erika Jayne's son, the police officer who I guess was there and arrested him. I guess he was the first one on scene.
Yeah, I don't even know what the guy got arrested for, but yes, I saw that
shooting.
Erika's son. Oh, it's a shooting?
Yeah. I thought, wow, that's interesting.
I know, and people are like, somebody who wanted to stay out of the media. He's doing his job. He has to appear. If there's a subpoena for his testimony, he has to be there. People are stupid. They are stupid.
Yeah, they really are stupid. So, other housewife news. What's going on in the OC, Kelly?
Gretchen Rossi's coming back. We're very excited. I'm excited. I want to see the interaction between her and Heather Dubrow. I don't really care about the interaction between her and Tamara because, quite honestly, I think Gretchen can eat Tamara up.
I'd like to see that. That is what I would
and
like
to see.
I think
we will.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see. I'm curious to see if Heather and Tamara, and who else was it? I feel like it was Heather, Tamara,
Emily.
Kind of Emily.
Yeah,
I mean, trio thing going, and I'm not here for it, Emily. You're too smart. You're too smart of a girl for that. But I'm curious to see where Heather and Tamara are going back into this season with Gretchen coming back. How funny, though. I wonder if she's coming back as a friend, like Alexis.
Yes, she is coming back as a friend. It is a friend.
I kind of wish they would give her a damn orange, though.
Well, they're probably just trying her out, see how it goes,
Yeah.
I think it's a good way. I think it's a good way to introduce her back in.
Yeah. Melissa's podcast was good with Dolo. You and I both listened to that.
I love Dolores. Every time I hear her talk, I love her even more. She is so real. She talks about everything. She was talking about her plastic surgeries. She was talking about her heart condition, her AFib. She was talking about her son, Frankie.
That was interesting.
It's funny because Melissa asked her, like, oh, how are you doing? How are the kids doing? And I don't know if you realize this, but Dolores is like, oh my gosh, Melissa, I watch your kids. I remember this time in my life. I was so busy when my kids were your kids' age. They're in sports. Every time they leave the house, you're worried. Are they going to a party? One wrong decision can ruin their whole life. And I'm like, wait a second. Melissa asked her the question. And now she's like, and I thought, she's a pro in every way. But then she goes on to say, I remember when Frankie, when he was 16, he got arrested. And he was so afraid of me that he called Frank's sister, his aunt, to pick him up from jail. And then a couple weeks later, Frank came over to pick up Frankie for school. And I thought, what is he doing coming over here to pick him up for school? He's probably got some, mom around the corner that he's banging.
Sleeping with.
Yeah. And it turns out he was taking him to court. And Frankie Jr. got to court and he passed out. And Dolores still doesn't know any of this. She knows nothing about it. Nobody has told her anything. And Frank waited for Frank Jr. to be away at camp, and then finally told Dolores what happened because he knew how mad she was going to be. And I was like, she is gangster. I love her.
Me too.
I so love her.
I wish anybody was as scared of me as they are of Dolores.
I know.
Nobody's that scared of me.
I know. And her kids are awesome. She's got such good kids. She's like, you know what? They call me now all the time because, Melissa's saying, oh my gosh, we have kind of the same situation. But for the big things, they're more afraid of Joe than they are of me. But I micromanage the day to day. And it just was good hearing them talk about what it's like just being a mom and living in New Jersey and having kids
being
that you're
normal
raising.
And being honest about what we all go through.
Right.
Like we're there. Like we're in that time right now with 17-year-olds. Like it's not easy, man.
No, it is not easy. It's not. And you just have to let them, do the right thing. But, kids are dumb. They make stupid mistakes. And sometimes it's not even them. It's the people that they're with do the stupid things, and then they get wrapped up in it.
Well, yeah.
We know all about that,
kids
too.
Surround themselves with good people, but...
Yeah, but even if they are good people...
They are good people. They just...
Right.
Yeah,
they make stupid mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're kids.
Yeah.
They're impulsive. They're like, oh, I can do this. What does it matter? Like, they just don't...
They're invincible.
They don't get
Listen.
Right.
Their brains are not fully developed yet.
No.
We keep trying to tell you this, children.
So, yeah, that was a great podcast.
That was a good podcast.
And Melissa said that her Valentine's Day sprinkle cookies are available. So anyone who didn't get them the first time around, you can get them.
They were good.
Our review is going to be posted when, Laura? Sunday?
Sunday, yes.
Yep. Big sprinkle cookie review from the We Wine Whenever girls.
Yeah, I'll give you a hint. We loved them.
We did love them.
We had wine and cookies, and it was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are not crumbly. They are super soft, which is how a sprinkle cookie should be.
Yum, yum.
Another big Bravo news. So last weekend in New York, I'm not sure if it was Friday or Saturday, but a city winery, they were doing a fundraiser. I didn't realize this when I was sending you all this information. They were doing a fundraiser for the fires in California, and there was all these like Bravo celebrities and people there, and Joe Gorga was there doing comedy, and Kyle Cook was there, and a bunch of other comedians were there. And Andrea Lopez, the comedian who does The Housewives, specifically Teresa, well, she went up on stage with Melissa's sprinkle cookies as the Teresa persona, and the crowd was loving it. And she was, handing out sprinkle cookies, but it was like all over social media. Like, Melissa can't stop talking about her sister. Why do they have to keep mentioning her?
Listen, I got to be honest with you. I wish they didn't have her on, and I'll tell you why. Melissa doesn't talk about her sister-in-law. Joe does not talk about his sister. Teresa cannot keep their names out of her mouth. She just was on another podcast. I don't even know who it was, but she was saying that, at some point, her brother and she had a private conversation, and he told her that if the show ends, this is going to be really bad for my marriage. Basically saying that if the show ended, Melissa would leave him. Clearly, that's not true. Teresa is obviously making that up. She cannot stop talking about them. All she's doing is talking about them. And now I'm starting to think she's just doing it to get a reaction out of them. But I wish they didn't have that. Listen, I think that woman is very talented, but I wish that they didn't do that because it is giving the tree stumps the opportunity to say that Melissa can't stop talking about Teresa. But she doesn't. I listen to her podcast all the time. She does not talk about Teresa.
No, she does
about
not.
The show and what's going on the show. But that's her life, people. That's her fucking life.
Right.
Like,
So,
I kind of wish they didn't do it.
Teresa's doing a lipstick line?
Yeah, apparently. And I am a lipstick whore.
Yeah.
And you couldn't pay me to wear her lipstick.
Lips by Teresa. And she said, this collection is so special to me as each lip shade celebrates the love, romance, and commitment that I share with my husband, my twin flame. It's like, boy, PR didn't write that. You definitely wrote that.
Yeah. Yeah. She needs PR.
I just thought that was pretty funny.
Cringy. As in
cringy.
funny, you mean cringy?
Yeah, a little cringy.
No, funny, ha ha. Funny, ha ha.
Like, get it? Get it?
Like, haha. All right, girls.
That's funny.
That is funny. All right. Until next time. Oh, by the way, if our listeners could do us a favor, please, and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to us, that would really help us.
Yes. Please, please.
Thank
That'd
you.
be lovely.
Bye.